Hello there. So we did speak about how a failed state looks like. This is also how being defeated looks like. If you read the Old Testament and you study the olden kings like Chaga Zulu or even King Lopengola and other kings, they believed in conquering. Even the British Empire was built on conquering, and once you conquer, you plunder. So Zimbabweans have been conquered and they have their country plundered. Okay, we are just victims of classical warfare. We have been at war, we have lost the war. Thank God for the current global order that doesn't allow other countries to annihilate us, like to kill us, genocide. Though genocide still happens, but because of international conventions, people who fight us are deterred from doing such things. The only reasons why there is no genocide in Zimbabwe is because Mnangagwa cannot carry out a genocide again and get away with it. But if he could, he would commit a genocide against all Zimbabweans. He would only leave himself, his wife, his children, Takwere, and who else? Yeah, perhaps a few loyalists, but he would finish off everyone. So because he cannot do that, because of international law, his only option is to make sure that the passport office works and gives all of the Zimbabweans passports. At least you don't die, you get a passport, get out of the country, we are still alive. And then he feels that he has done you a favor. And whilst we are still at it, how about make money whilst they are getting passports? Zimbabwean passports are now 200, 250 US dollars. Extremely high, more expensive than American passports. 10 times more expensive than passports in the region. Another way of suck them dry before they leave. This is the last opportunity before they leave the country. Take 200 US dollars from them, then they can go. But if it wasn't for the global system, the global order, that that's why I am pro American in many instances, because the current global order has got some rules and rules of engagement, even during warfare, even in warfare, that leave at least the condition of the humans better off even after losing a war. So what we Zimbabweans have been experiencing is a warfare. So it's not a hot war because that's not where the direction of the conquerors are taking it to. It is a war nonetheless. It is a financial warfare. It's an economic warfare. The rest of the Zimbabwean has been defeated by being given a pariah governance system, a dumb guy to become a leader. Nagag was dumb. Okay, I'm sorry. It's very. It's not a respectful term, but that's what it is. He is not smart. Neither are the people around him smart to build a country. They are only smart to also to have joined the plunderers. So those who came to plunder the country found Idim Nangagwa and his people to be a ripe group to use as part of a weapon against the people of Zimbabwe, against or for the purposes of plundering the rest of us. Remember that the gold and the diamond and all the minerals in the country belongs to me and you. But we're languishing in poor countries. You know why? Because somebody has plundered our resources. So it has been a war. We have lost our war. I needed to begin to think along those lines, in that perspective, from that line of thought, that we have been plundered in the traditional sense of the word, just like uh, Jacob. I mean, just like Israel went to plunder the countries that God sent them to plunder, just like King Mziliga. I mean, what to call him? King Chaga went by conquering all the other Zulu surnames to create the Zulu state, just like even Loping Hula went to plunder the people that were in Zimbabwe to create that state. It, that kind of plundering by kings is still what we are seeing in Zimbabwe. But this is a modern version in an era where we have got this global order that is purports to bring peace and security and fight global hunger. But even within that context, there is still a way in which you can wage warfare against unsuspecting people, plunder them, and without them noticing that they've been plundered. Zimbabweans do not notice that they've been plundered. Zimbabweans do not notice that they have got an inheritance that has been taken away from them. And therefore, they do not fight because they are given passports and they are alive. And once they get access to United Kingdom, which is a very hard thing to do, they begin to feel that they have achieved something in life. No, you have not achieved anything by being in the diaspora. It's not an achievement. It is actually not proceed, but it is the finality of 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 your defeat. Okay, it is the outcome. Yes, Lord, thank you. Being in the UK or USA or Europe is the outcome of your defeat as a Zimbabwean. It's not because you are clever, it's because you have been defeated. For here to win the warfare, you could be in your country with a political system and financial system that rewards you, that keeps you well financialized. But you have, because you've been plundered. First of all, what was plundered was the systems. The political system has been so plundered that even if you think that you have got an opposition, the opposition is Triple C and Nelson Chamisa are a pariah opposition. Okay, they are already defeated. There's nothing that they can do. Nelson Chamisa is powerless. It's just a stooge, just a worthless thing that is just there to make you believe that there is some hope. As they feed with this hopium, they carry on plundering, looting, year in, year out. That's why it is not interested in building roads and building the economy, because he is part of the plundering crusade against the wealth of all Zimbabweans. And the Zimbabweans as a whole, they have given up because they've been plundered. First of all, your mind has been plundered, so that it's been uh, sort of like conditioned to think that what is happening to you is okay, and uh, the options that you are given of getting out of the country, they have been conditioned to your mind to think that your life is improving by going to the diaspora, so that you can look at the suffering Zimbabweans at home and feel better than them, and then you feel like you have achieved something. But actually, in fact, you have your true wealth has been plundered. And as Zimbabweans, you are all going to be rushing to get passports, rushing for an opportunity to go to the UK, opportunity to go to South Africa, where in Shiva. And in your mind, because your good sense also has been plundered from your mind. So you have got a mindset that is already defeated. And therefore, you think that going overseas is an achievement. In the context of Zimbabweans, by and large, going overseas is not an achievement, but actually it is the finality of your defeat by those that really came to plunder your real wealth. And ZANU PF itself, by ZANU PF I mean the few elite who have had the access, like the Dagoreys, the Scotch Zakopanyas, who have had the access to the plundering group, are actually the Zimbabweans that have deflected and began to serve the interests of the other team that comes to plunder our resources, but it will plunder through the few in ZANU PF. We do not see the global elite plundering Zimbabweans' wealth. We don't see them. You don't see any white person in Zimbabwe. You only see black people oppressing blacks. But at the end of the day, if you follow the money, you discover that the profits are essentially transferred to the city of London and the New York Stock Exchange, which is not run by black people. You get what I'm saying? So it is a very clever way of plundering your resources in this current global system that that appears peaceful, appears loving human rights, human dignity, and all those things. And when you are plundered, the blunder that you make, that you don't realize exactly that King Charles III is still plundering you, but he will do it in a stealthy way, from a stealthy position, such that you will go to him to beg him for assistance. Yet he is the one who is plundering from you. Zimbabweans go to UK begging for access to the UK, access for jobs in UK that are offered by King Charles, who himself is the one plundering you. But already, as I told you, that first of all, he plundered your good sense, such that you follow senseless things like the Triple C, which is actually what British people gave you, Zimbabweans, so that you can have this hope here, hoping something will happen, but nothing is going to happen from there. Him too, Chamisa, and a few leaders in the Triple C are part of the group of people that have left the struggle and has joined a group of the elite who are in collusion against the rest of the masses. Because after all, the masses have never, even if you look at historical facts, the masses have never amassed enough power and capability to overthrow a system of, of oppression. Usually, it is a small group, a small band of activists and revolutionists who bring about a change. So, the masses in Zimbabwe, just like other masses throughout history, have been plundered, and they are happy to go to the country of the master because they don't understand how they have been plundered. But the king, King Charles III, has once again plundered Zimbabweans. Because the one that you call king, the one who Emerson Mnangagwa, does not understand his role. Instead of being the protector of the realm, he actually has been the one who have opened the floodgates for the enemy to enter and loot. And by the way, the enemy is not even looting itself. It's actually enslaving Idi Mnangagwa and Scott and Dagwere to loot on their behalf. When they give him things like sanctions, you and I begin to think that they are fighting. They're not fighting. Sanctions is for you to keep on to be misdirected. Sanctions is for plundering your good sense of judgment, your insight, so that you begin to think that the British and the Americans are fighting for our cause. Yet in actual fact, they are the ones who are plundering us. But the nature of the plunder is so intricate and too educated that they are hoping that you will never take the time to be investigative enough. Not only one of you, but a critical mass of you to be able to recognize really what is going on. They are hoping that as you are suffering and languishing in poverty, you will be struggling to get $200 to get a passport or to do some tests that will take you to UK. And once you are getting there, they will they will bombard you with 2 or 3 jobs at a time with an uh, living environment that does not give you an opportunity to begin to think about esoteric things like uh, political emancipation. And even if one of you were to do it, it will only be one of you, or 2 or 3 of you, whose voice will not gain traction. But how will that voice gain traction anyway, when that voice will be using traditional systems like YouTube that are already engineered to keep you oppressed? And therefore, when the YouTube algorithm picks up words of encouragement, words that truly bring the emancipation of Zimbabweans, that algorithm will crush that uh, uh, that messaging, so that you will remain a plundered people. We are not just an oppressed people, we are plundered Zimbabweans. Plunder is happening. And our plunder is that we are blind to see it. Those who tell us truth, we insult them. I know how much people insult me for telling them that Chamisa is selling a road deal. They will insult you because good sense has been plundered from them. It has been plucked out, and they've been fed with information that makes them believe that going to UK is the savior. Yet actually it is the end game and really using you as a cheap labor after plundering your country. As I told you, your political system has been plundered. The United Kingdom and the United States of America, they've got a good political system, a democratic political system that serves the interests of Zimbabwe. What they have taken away from us is the opportunity for us to create our own system. Our political system, if it functions well, it will make sure that there is a rule of law, and it will also enable our financial system to be stable, bringing a stable currency that allows economic growth. Economic growth will cause a lot of industries, downstream industries, to develop, creating employment and ingenuity and entrepreneurship and industrialization, fourth industrial revolution, and all of those things that will make Zimbabwe to be competitive on a global scale and through ownership of the means of production and our resources, and that causes them to be very scared because they are scared of that. So they will plunder your brain cells first, plunder your economic trajectory, good trajectory, by making sure that we have got a president like Idi Mnangagwa in power. Listen, King Charles put Mnangagwa in power, hopes he will stay in power, and will maintain him there in power as long as the plundering is set to continue. And the only way to stop the plundering in Zimbabwe is to remove the leader who is blind, the leader who is who's allowing the plunderers to come into the country. If ZANU-PF lacks revolutionaries whose mindset has not been plundered, then those ones who have been plundered, whose mind has been plundered, must be removed by the few who are wise. As I told you, you cannot wait for the majority, because the majority, historically speaking, has never amassed enough capacity and strength to deliver a change. The only way when the majority can ever be useful is when they can have leadership, they can be able to trigger the right points that will cause a mass resistance against the system. And that, my friend, means bypassing the already compromised Nelson Chamisa and his Triple C lawyers, who are obviously lawyers for the regime, because that's what lawyers do. They defend criminals. I've never seen a group of lawyers in a country like Zimbabwe fighting against the criminals that are keeping us oppressed. How do you think that they will fare in their professional life if the lawyers of Triple C truly oppose ZANU-PF? Do you think that their professional lives will not be attacked by ZANU-PF elite? Obvious it will, because their professional lives are okay. Tells me that even their political dealings are largely having a great input in maintaining ZANU-PF in power. So those of you who are clever, who are wise, who begin to recognize. I'm not talking about people that are afraid of being insulted. I'm the last person who fears being insulted because I'm against Chamisa. I don't care about the Zimbabweans who insult me. In fact, Zimbabweans who insult me for being against Chamisa show me that their intellect has already been plundered by King Charles. That is why they don't see. So that's why they're not woke. Woke Zimbabweans recognize by now. Woke Zimbabweans recognize by now that Nelson Chamisa is actually an impediment and a problem, and he is the one who is hindering progress. The whole strategy of Triple C, the whole infrastructure of Triple C, is beneficial to ZANU-PF and the looters more than the ordinary Zimbabweans. So those of you that are woke, and there's a few of you, so there are a lot of you, because usually the majority is wrong. The few of you who begin to understand what I'm saying are actually the people whom gives me hope that there is a chance for a better future. But we need to understand that we have been defeated, we have been plundered. We are coming from the position of defeat, not from a position of of fair level ground. The competitive environment is not is not on a fair basis. Already the system is rigged against us, and even those that we traditionally think are going to be avenues of help are actually the plunderers. For example, the British Empire, it is still plundering Zimbabwe. The American Empire is still plundering Zimbabwe. So trying to go with them for answers is a waste of time, because they will try to figure, well, as you are explaining to them your problem, they're trying to figure out how they can hoodwink you or try to get out, excuse me, try to get over the bridge as victorious, or with a better, with a solution, or something that will appear to you as a solution but not really a solution, is another way of plundering your wealth. So I needed to be clever. You say I'm speaking in English, and I'm aware that they're listening, which is good. But understand that you are from a position of defeat, and the traditional avenues of expressing power have been aligned against you. The system has been rigged. So your source of power and your ingenuity has to be courageous and revolutionary and uh, disruptive. Disruptive in the sense that it will not rely on the current order to deliver, but it will be transformative in a very creative manner, using avenues that are least traveled and roads that are undermined. It will break free through a genius strategy that will not be shared online, cannot be shared online, cannot even be understood even if it was shared online. Perhaps it's shared online, perhaps it is not. Perhaps it is an open secret, perhaps it's not. Perhaps I'm just saying this to confuse, perhaps I'm not. We have got choices to make, and the choice is in your head, fellow leaders. You can choose to be conquered and celebrate. You can choose to accept your fate, that you are defeated and there's nothing you can do about it. Or you can choose something else. I won't tell you. Have a great day.